all our charitable giving support. We have $48,283. So that's post auction. So we've got money in there for our scholarships and all the grants in the community areas. And in addition to that, we have our Schwab investment account for $53,000 and the endowment account, which is restricted. You can only use the earnings each year. And that has now grown to over $100,000,
Nice.
107.08. So it's growing beautifully, and we've got money to do things for the community. So I really encourage you to talk to any board member about, a project that needs to be done. And
Done.
it's been, okay, yeah.
Done.
Amy's really good at spending time. Yeah, help us spend some money.
I would love to present to the board.
All right, we'll line you up.
Let's go.
I know that we've got, we were gonna open for the second round of giving funds to the community. Do you know where that's at? Tracy's not here.
I don't think started.
Okay.
the Process on that, but that is the funds from the endowment that have to be used by the end of the year.
Okay,
And I think we have about 13,000.
that's great. That's great. All right. Ron's not here. Gary, secretary's report.
Nothing big, just the next board meeting is Wednesday, November 12th. 5:30, Sherwood.
That was a short report, Gary.
Almost said all good.
Club services, Eileen's not here. Community services, our new chair, Amy. Anything around community services that you might want to share? We'll vote you in first. I just thought it would be fun to put you on the spot and see your face.
What do you want to know? You want to know, I went to a joint leaders roundtable Wednesday morning, and it's really good to hear from Mary Templeton about the Disney School District is doing, the libraries doing amazing things, and the fire police. So everything in the city is rocking and rolling. I was unprepared to say anything specific.
That's fine.
But yeah, I do. Yeah, I have 2 pieces of swag that I alternate. More to come.
All right. She got voluntold, well, I think voluntold by the club, not by any one individual.
It was fun.
All right, international services, Chris.
So, there's last night, I don't know if Lynn's on Lynn's on there, could add, but there was a meeting and the budget's looking pretty solid. They're into like $342,000 for their budget. So people are graciously donating to different projects down there for school and tech.
Where's that, Chris?
It's down in Copan.
In Honduras?
Yeah.
Okay, some people here may not know that.
Okay, yeah, I got some little newsletters. It's the first and someone's done this, so I'm gonna send that. It's got everything you do you want to know.
Nice.
James, you're getting one.
Excellent, thank you.
But anyhow, so they're rebuilding a bridge because it all rotted out, so they're using pressure treated wood and things like that, so there's money for that. And they're starting kind of like a savings and loan thing, so students can borrow money to buy like welders or sewing machines. It's kind of antiquated down there, but things are very inexpensive, you would be shocked. So that's going on, and we talked about it, kind of like an adopted dream, which is you adopt a student for 3 years. $220. There's a few people that have stepped up in here to try and do that. So there's some already doing it continuously. So that's pretty cool. We do still owe them like $2,000 for our donation to the IPA. You'll see this in the letter here, what everything's happening. I don't want to get too much into it, but that's it.
Good time.
Perfect. Yeah. Anybody can go down there if they want to. They look for people. They go down once a year, at least or twice. have meetings and discuss things on what they want to do, projects, and then there's hands-on fixing things. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's it.
Alright. Go back to foundation, and I just wanna give Ryan a bad time. He's got Bob Howell. Kristen.
But an opportunity here today. We have our next double blue Paul Harris right here. I did, yes. And I only had to come to one meeting to get it to you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Again, 95% of the money goes half to the foundation and half comes back to district. So a lot of good use of that money. So
Great.
thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. What's that? No kidding. Membership, nobody here, but Gary gave me access to the I guess there's different levels of access on Club Runner. And the last time I did this, I didn't have access to anybody's birthdays or anniversaries or any of that. So I spent a little bit of time looking through it in the back end. And it does say we have 47 members. Is that accurate?
Pretty close.
Of the club? So that's a pretty good group of people. Vocational services, I'll make an announcement here. Kristen has now officially resigned as vocational chair. So as we talked about in the board meeting, we are going to split up that vocational position into the scholarships, which we have done for years. And then the other part will be youth services. So we're going to kind of, it is a big job if one person had responsibility for all of that. So we will write up some job descriptions because we're working on that at the board level, right, Gary?
Yep.
For each of the positions. So when you're voluntold that you're going to be a chair, you at least know what that encompasses. So we'll do that with those two positions and then let the club know who's going to be responsible for what going forward. And I believe we agreed that only one person would be on the board, right? But we would split up the responsibilities between two of those two positions. All right, programs, Kendra's not on, public relations, Rochelle isn't here, but I have to say, I love those why I joined Rotary spots that are going out on Facebook. They do, they look really cool, and I think it's a great way to promote awareness of our club in the community. And I don't have an inspirational comment. Eileen's not here. Does anybody else? Woo!
She sent me.
All right.
Two, actually. The quickest way to succeed is to start now and figure it out as you go. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, you can't learn to drive in a parked car.
That's pretty deep. All right, Sergeant at Arms. Why don't we do our drawing and our happy butts?
Sir, thank you. All right, and the tickets. I'm gonna let your, if you can't, your draw the winning number, please pick the red ticket only and read the last numbers out loud.
251.
Oh, that's me.
I just won, but then all these other ones.
When did you buy? So you're gonna get your 5%?
I do about 20 a week.
Okay.
Keep the habit consistent, you know?
That's only half the battle. He has to pick the duck with this on it. I'm gonna pull that right here. Right? Oh, no. But you do get a consolation prize. There you go.
Here's
sir.
5 and here's 20. Not a good investment.
Great wrap up.
All righty. Okay, who was last in Rotarian Line? Fine for you, sir. All right, we'll get back to you. Everybody has their badge on? No bad?
No bad.
Okay. No bad. No bad. All right, we'll get to you. We'll start with happy buttons.
I am happy, and I'll do gun law. We had at Sherwood two business breakfasts in the past 2 weeks, one up in Scannick County and one in Snohomish County this past Wednesday. And the intent of these is to help employers that are really searching for good employees learn about supported employment and the possibility of hiring people with disabilities and roles in their businesses. So I would say both pretty well attended, over about 30 people at each one. And we got some new employers that learned about supported employment and opened their minds.
Awesome.
So it was great.
Excellent opportunities. Yeah, a lot of people are surprised to hear about the transitions program at the school district. It's a great bridge to what you guys do. Right.
South of.
Sorry.
Happy to be here, gone next week in Albuquerque, gone the following week in Los Angeles. We've got a shoot right following Albuquerque, so I'll see you all in 3 weeks. Excellent. Next month, back, can you believe it's November? How many of you can believe it was dark when you drove here?
Very dark.
We're happy to have you. Mr. Howell.
Thanks. I do it.
David Corner. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Excellent. All right. Christine.
Happy Friday, we're shopping with the girls today.
For what? All right.
I am happy to be back in the US and happy to have nice, clean air to breathe and beautiful mountains and see. I was in China. I lived there for 11 years. Was there visiting? Glad to be back.
Your classification part.
Yes, I have to acknowledge for goodwill and better friendships. I just want to highlight some of the partners that have invested heavily in the school district, and we're hoping to return that. So the first one is to the city. So thank you, Mayor. Just so exciting as you are presenting as your the roundtable as well as forums at the legislative forum a couple months ago. This is what we're doing. This is what we're chasing, and it's exciting. So thank you. Excellent. Chamber, very exciting. The chamber has an energy to it right now. And I know that you don't at this moment have somebody who's taking the lead. But I just want to thank you for your leadership because I can see from my vantage point as a local taxpayer, but also as a leader in the community. It's working. People are coming together and really showing how we work together. It's working. And the last thing I'll say is thank you to everybody who is running for elected office. Thank you. And it matters. It matters. So make sure that you're paying attention. I know that I am. And make sure that you get your vote out there and no matter who wins. Thank you, everybody, for service is what that's all about. So thank you.
John Spencer, good morning.
Tuned right in.
John? He's getting there. All right, we'll come back to you.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Maybe? No. Not quite. He's working on it. All right, Don.
Oh, there's just so much going on, but I'm really excited because the Mariners are going to tonight.
Yeah. They are.
And one more.
Well, yes. They're gonna have to go away for that last.
It's it'll be all the way to 7, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe 7 games and 18 innings. I'm happy to be here, part of this. Everybody, I think, is always got a smile on their face. And I'm looking for some projects, Amy. That'll be fun. Yeah, you're on again. Maybe you have a few too. So that's always fun to get together and do projects.
Paul Adams, I'm really happy. I've got now scheduled. Anybody who's interested is invited for November 22nd, doing a free morning. That's about, for those of us with biblical faith, putting that to work in your business life. But taking from Michael Jensen out of Harvard's work around integrity and speech act theory and applying that to biblical business principles and being able to bring that into your daily work.
Nice.
So November 22nd, if you want an invite, talk to Olga because I'll lose an email address.
I'm Olga Sessions. I'm happy the real Washington weather is here. So, and I'm happy to have an awesome mentor. I think it means a lot. I'm new to this job as of end of July. And it's awesome when you feel a difference in a change of like the job environment, so to say. So yeah, happy Friday, guys.
I'll go now. I missed last week because I got called. And, sorry.
Thank you for working.
Oh, yeah. Find me more drivers.
Working on it.
So we can, stop everybody. Okay. Okay. All right, and, our scout troops are doing great. Our Cub Scout pack is ready to hit the ground running. Roll on. Excited about that.
A couple of things. I think some of you have heard the Leaders Roundtable. Don't know what that is. I do a monthly Leaders Roundtable of community leaders. And we sit down for an hour and everyone goes around the table, talk about their organizations, learn about the school district, actually work for the school district. And so I'm just thankful for that event because you get to really see what everyone's doing. There's really cool stuff inside our community. And then my second thankfulness is we are going to be celebrating grandbaby number 2, 3-year-old birthday today, little baby Benny. And we're going to some arcade that will probably drive me nuts in my tinnitus. Within about 10 minutes. Yep. But that's what we do.
We have a new park.
What's that?
Yeah, come on.
Don't
Happy Monday, happy
But I will not take your welcome.
Word, it was sort of.
Okay, you can. You
The
got
city of Lake Stevens has acquired Cav,
Monday.
on Monday, the 20th, October 20th, legally acquired the Cav Caballero property. So it's no longer Snohomish County's, it's ours, and we get to do what we want with it, sort of. So they're gonna, you all are gonna put out a request for, what are you doing?
Yeah, we'll put out an RFP for a
Community center, something that supports, senior citizens, teens, and our youth.
Nice.
As part of this, celebration on Monday, will the
So
mayor be
we'll be doing a ribbon cutting
on
on,
skateboard and?
No, there's.
So to interrupt- we won't do that. So to interrupt you, we're gonna do a ribbon cutting on Tuesday, the 21st at 2 p.m. and I hope you guys can all go.
All right. And we're probably working there.
Yeah,
Anyways, so it's really amazing. It's fun that.
that's awesome.
To control and a place for everyone to get it.
Long time coming.
Tuesday, 21st at 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Executive session will be there. We'll do the about.
Nice.
I'll be roasted.
Jackie will probably be there too. Yeah.
Lori.
Well, I've got a couple happy comments. So up on the front table are tomatoes. Please take as many as you want. The more tomatoes you take, the less I have to process.
Not to be thrown in a thing or anything.
There's a few that aren't totally right, but I tell you, you put the tomato on your kitchen counter for one day, it'll be beautiful.
Nice.
But we cleaned out the greenhouse last night. That's all the tomatoes, and it looks like a jungle in there, but yeah, that's a small fraction of the tomatoes that we pulled. And I hate that it's fall, but I love that it's fall. So, the garden's done. But hey, it's raining. I can sit down at my sewing machine and quilt, so I'm happy about that.
Quilting season, that's what you said.
Stand up for a minute. I want everybody to recognize Quinnibai, also known as Amelia to all of us. She gives the absolute best hugs. And so if you haven't got your hug yet today, you see her.
All right. So let's go to our speaker. So Ali Sharp, from We Heart All. Locally based organization, and thank you, James, for putting out the newsletter yesterday and giving me some talking points to introduce her. But you have international reach, it sounds like. And I started to ask her some questions prior, and I said, okay, I'll quit. I'll listen to your presentation. But partners with communities, groups, and organizations to improve the lives of our most vulnerable around the world. So welcome. So there is a clicker that was left on.
Okay, so we'll switch on the
All
side
right.
too. Perfect. Little
Not quite yet, but we can use the button on. the
Okay,
computer too.
it's okay, it works 30% of the time, 100% of the time.
100% of the time, 30% of the time.
Thank you all for letting us be here and present to you. As Lance said, my name is Allie Sharp. This is Keith Sharp, my husband. And we founded We Heart All, which empowers children around the world through education and healthcare or access to. And we typically do it for the children living in extreme poverty.
And I just want to start off by saying thank you for having us here. We are local. We live right there in Cavallaro. I got 2 children in the school system right now. Got one of them as a senior. Just want to let you know. He's going off to college after this year, and he says he wants to come back and become Lake Stevens mayor. So you got my votes. You got my vote for now, but there's a timeline on this. All right. He does a lot of volunteering. He works hard and he's in the theater club, but he doesn't do the student council yet.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
So this is our mission statement. And I'm gonna share a quick video, and the part that's changed is the Ethiopian project, but this shows like what we've done in 23 and 24. So like it's still pertinent to like our mission and what we've done. Maybe.
So far.
Yeah. Is there
Should be any noise.
well, it's just entertaining with the pictures, I guess.
Might be able to get Paul,
Okay.
Paul in.
Sorry, I should have said something before. I hear something.
There's a little speaker thing. Did you check that? You're just to the right
And
there.
to the,
I mean, and then there's a volume. If you click on that, there's a volume. Show them all. Show them down. Okay, it was just where you were just at. Just click on the screen again.
The YouTube window?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're all on the left-hand side.
oh, there we go.
There.
Yep.
All right, well, that's all the way up.
Well, let's see if it works. If not, we'll just talk through it.
yeah, it's fine. We can skip it.
Yeah.
All right, let's skip it.
Sorry about that.
No, you're not.
Okay, we'll just, so we partner with communities around the world. Right now we're concentrated in Ethiopia and Uganda. In Ethiopia, we're concentrating on getting access to education for children, and in Uganda, it's medical care.
I'll just say a little bit about our history and why we're doing what we're doing. I've been a firefighter for 22 years. I work for South County Fire and I work in the Community Resource Paramedic Office. And Allie was a police officer for the city of Dallas before working in the Child Protective Services. So in our world, we see every day that children are vulnerable. They're vulnerable everywhere. But the great thing about America is they all have access to some of these most basic things in life. We have access, they can call 911, they can go to amazing schools, they can even get food and shelter, and we can take care of those. The people we're serving, after visiting some of the places we visit, we realize they don't have those most basic. They don't have food security, they don't have shelter, they certainly don't have education, and healthcare is lacking everywhere. So that's kind of why we chose our mission and why we chose children around the world to take care of.
And our vision is we just want to see children and women safe, educated, and empowered to reach their full potential. And you can keep skipping that.
Okay.
All right.
So this is my area because I am passionate about healthcare for children. Being a firefighter, this is really important to me. So we have decided to try to get children around the world who are lacking access to just some of the most basic healthcare out there. And what we do as We Heart All, of course, we don't know everything about Uganda, but what we do know is this gentleman right there here named Yona. Yona is the hardest working human being in this country of Uganda. He is his paying job is a lawyer. He works for the civil rights movement down there, and he's a lawyer there. He's also started his own primary and nursery school down there. So he's providing the education for these children already, and he has that 100% going already. But what he did is he reached out to us and said, I need help with the healthcare side of things. So again, a little bit about Yona. He's just passionate about what he does. He's dedicated his entire life to serving these children. And this is his vision, what we're doing in Uganda. So we are supporting his vision to make sure that the children in Uganda have some of the most basic healthcare needs met. We work in a very specific area called Soga sub-region of Uganda. It is incredibly rural. There are some big cities in Uganda. This is not it. There are millions of people that live in this area, but this is, when I say rural, it is rural. What you're not seeing in some of these pictures is that we are walking through the jungle in little trails to go to the mud hut that they live in, that's where they subsist. They grow the food that they can grow. If they're lucky, they make $1 a day. The one problem that they have down there is no access to healthcare for women and children. They have some very basic, we're going to call them clinics, that are government run out there. If a doctor shows up, they're super lucky. Normally in this area, they do not show up. So we have decided to start a 4-phase program down there to meet these most basic needs. Now, I'll say, just backing up a little bit, the number one killer for children under 5 in Uganda is malaria. And malaria is rampant down there. And it's sad because there's treatment. Every time I go to Uganda, I take my malaria meds and I don't get malaria at all. If I did get malaria, I would have access to some of the best medication out there for it, and I would probably not suffer much at all, and I would be just fine. Around the world every year, about 600,000 people die of malaria. Almost all of them, about 95% of them, live in sub-Saharan Africa, and of those, about 98% of them are 5 and under. This is preventable. This is curable. There's even a vaccine out there for it. We have access, they just don't. So we're trying to provide those basic needs out there. Sadly, what we do know to be true is when a child in our area that we serve gets malaria, their parents wait for them to die because there is no other option for them. The nearest children's hospital is 3 hours away by a car. They don't own cars. They don't own anything. So they don't have the ability to do anything. So phase 1 for us is just to make sure that they do have that access to the emergency care that they need and the medication. And so what we do is we show up and we provide basic transportation. We show up, we have drivers who drive cars for us. We have to use motorcycles. So because they live through trails, so we get them on a motorcycle, we drive them to a place where we can get them into a car, and then we drive them to the hospital, and we cover the cost of the hospital, the transportation, food, and overnight stay.
So just an example of what we're talking about this. So I was there when was it?
A couple months ago.
Yeah. So I went to one of the clinics and they had just received medication. Thank goodness, because there was a little girl about 6 years old who came in. She had malaria so bad that she was having seizures and she was on her deathbed. I think they said that she took 5 doses of malaria medicine. And she only got that because they had just delivered it the day before. So they say that, I've talked to the doctors there and they say that the malaria medicine lasts for maybe 2 weeks. So just to give you a picture of kind of the struggle of getting the medication.
And so we provide that medicine for these people, but not just the medicine. We also want to prevent malaria. So one of the basic things we do is we show up and we purchase mosquito nets because malaria is mosquito borne. So when they sleep at night, that's when they get bit and that's when they're most vulnerable. So up there on the top, you'll see that's actually the school that Yona runs there. And we showed up and made sure that every child that is going to his school has access to these mosquito nets. It's $5 per net. For $5, we can prevent these people from dying. It's that simple. The malaria meds, it's literally $5 a dose. For the basic stuff, for the most expensive stuff, it's $15 a dose. We can save a life for $5, and that's what's incredible about what we're doing. Phase 2, we're actually already into phase 2 already, and that was we want to purchase our own motorcycle and we want to purchase our own van. This year, we were lucky enough to be able to, or last year, we were lucky enough to purchase our first motorcycle. So now we can ride in through these trails and get people to access to the cars. Now our next phase is we want to purchase a van, so it's going to be our own ambulance, and we're going to be able to drive them, hire a driver, and that will allow us to do about 4 times as much we're doing right now. Right now, for $250 a month, we can get about 15 people to the hospital overnight, and that covers their health care, that covers the overnight costs. We can do 4 times that much with just one vehicle. Yes, sir. The van is $20,000. Yeah, it will be on the next slide. But the van is $20,000, and then the driver is about another $5,000 for the year to have.
Gas station nearby or not?
Not a lot of gas stations, but they're pretty good at keeping their stuff going. So that's phase 2. Phase 3, which we can't even see here, whoops, is we want to purchase land. And that's on the way to phase 4, which is we want to ultimately build our own hospital in that region. The land itself is going to cost us, it's about, I think, $8,000 per acre around there. We want to have at least 2 acres up to 6 acres. And what we're going to do then is have like medical missions trips where we can set up temporary clinics, and we can do vaccine clinics, we can do treatments, and we can do the basics. And then ultimately our goal is we are going to build a hospital there. That's a long-term goal. It's going to take us some time, but in the meantime, we have the ability to do a lot of good. So what does this cost us? Transporting a person to that hospital, it's $12 to drive them there. It's a 3-hour drive. I do want to, here's another story. When we went 2 years ago to Uganda, just as we got there, a young woman gave birth to a child, and this child, their intestines were born outside of their stomach. It's actually treatable. But what we had to do was literally put this mother and her baby and another person on a motorcycle. They put up to 7 people on their motorcycles, by the way. So we had to put them all on the motorcycle. The extra person held on to them while the driver drove, and they drove to an area where we could actually get them into a vehicle. And then we drove another 2 hours to the hospital where they could actually get the surgery that was necessary for them to survive. These are the crazy things that we're dealing with. And a lot of it is just basic poor prenatal care and poor nutrition. So those are the things we're also, every time we go there, we bring a luggage full of prenatal vitamins, because just that basic little thing can stop some of these issues before it even starts. So a meal, so to get someone to the hospital is $12 to drive them there. The meal is $3. Overnight expenses is $4 per person. So we'll make sure that if it's a young child, their parent can go with them. We'll make sure their parent has a place to stay at night, and that they get at least some good food while they're there. And we pay for all medications. We pay for all surgeries, all of that stuff we pay for. And it's incredible how little it costs. The US dollar goes very far in Uganda. Again, the cost of the van is $20,000, and it's about $300 per month for the driver. The land purchase between $15,000 and $50,000. And then what you can't see down there is it's going to cost about $500,000 to start this hospital. So those are our goals for healthcare in Uganda. And before I turn it over to my wife for the next part, does anybody have any questions about Uganda or our healthcare missions? Yes, sir.
When you're in Uganda, do you feel safe being a white American?
That's a great question. What's funny, I'm going to back it up a little bit. This young gentleman, this is in some of the rural areas. When we went there, the children there and most of the adults had never seen a white person before. Little funny story, they were afraid to touch us because they thought we didn't have skin. So they thought if they touched us, we would be hurt really bad. So it's incredible. when we're in the jungles, we feel. And we have Yona with us, and Yona has a whole cadre of volunteers that work with us the entire time. They make sure we're taken care of. We don't stay in the jungles. We stay in a little village town, and they do have a hotel. They call it a hotel that we stay there. We actually feel quite safe. When we're there, we feel good enough to walk around through the entire streets all by ourselves. We get a lot of stares because they just don't see white people down there very often. But they're all very loving people. They're all super happy. The happiest people you'll ever meet live in some of the poorest areas of the world. It's a good question.
It's slightly smaller than Texas. I think is what we.
Yeah.
What's the population?
The population of where we serve is like, I want to say 1.8 million. That's a very rural area. So Kampala is the big city there. It's got millions of people that live there. I couldn't tell you the entire population of the country.
2 hours, there are people who have those, but that's where a lot of the private hospitals are too. And then also, like, if they've decided not to take any more patients for the day, then we have to go. It could be anywhere from a 5-hour drive to an 8-hour, or I think
It took us 9 hours, yeah.
In bigger cities, are they more like they have sanitation and electrical and it's more modernized?
Yes. Yeah. Kampala is a very modern city. There's still a lot of poverty there, but there's a huge wealth gap there. But there are some very new buildings there, a lot of skyscrapers and stuff like that. It just doesn't reach out. Yes, sir.
What would your hospital be? I mean, I'm curious what you can build for $500,000.
You can build a lot. And when we talk about buildings there, every building there is cinder block, except for their houses, which are made out of mud and stone. So it would be most likely a large cinder block building with just lots of rooms. And we work with the country there. You can, again, buy a lot for a little bit of dollars, $500,000.
Operating rooms?
Yeah, there will be operating rooms. There'll be, it's going to be mostly women and children's hospital. Actually, I'll let Ali talk about this more.
So he's are like living blocks with doctors. So they have to have a space to live there. We'd love to do like a program with like hospitals or like here or in like Europe and that sort of thing. So we have a lot of plan for that area, but that would probably to do all that. And then yes, it would cover like the cost of machines and that sort of thing. So a lot of these clinics have no machines. They don't even have an ultrasound. One clinic that I visited this last time didn't even have electricity. So, you know, we want to make it self-sustaining with solar panels and all that stuff too, and generators.
Yona, that's his name.
Yona, yes.
Where did he get his education?
In Kampala. So he grew up in this area, but he was able, his family in the area is well known and they kind of have a lot of resources. So he was able to get his law degree. He got a doctorate degree. And I think he also got a social services degree. So yes.
He live in
No, he lives closer to Kampala and he travels once a month out to this area, which takes him quite a bit of time. And then but all of his volunteers live out there. So he coordinates with his volunteers. Yes. Again, that's where he grew up. So when we go visit him, he brings us to his church and we visit church service out there and we visit his home and all his extended family that still live there. Yes, sir.
Involved are the international organizations in this whole process?
Not a lot. There's not a lot going on in Uganda itself. I know I'm trying to work with the WHO because they just came out with the vaccine for malaria. But right now they're only going into the larger cities, most good for the most number of people. So there's nothing except for us in our particular area. We're the only one we know of there.
It just seems like there's an opportunity, you know, we did the presentation a couple months ago on the polio and how we get polio literally to everybody, right? So why is that not a model for the malaria idea?
Yeah.
So, you know, Rotary is working with the Gates Foundation on malaria. It's just not stepped up to the level of polio. I asked the very same question. 3 people die a year of polio. Over 600,000 people die a year of malaria. And all of our focus is on, so I don't really get it either. But I read recently that half of everybody who's died on Earth since humanity started is from mosquito. Half of everybody.
I know.
There's frogs.
Yeah.
There's a young town that we're on Good Place Foundation. And
Oh, wow. And I will say, yeah, absolutely.
So what's the deal with mosquito, out here in the United States, seem to be that prevalent versus?
It's the climate. It is 100% the climate. If you go just north of there to where we work in Ethiopia, malaria is not prevalent at all. Certain parts in the higher elevation, some parts of Ethiopia it is, but in the area that we're working with the education in Ethiopia, there's no malaria because the climate doesn't provide.
Malaria, that it comes from a mosquito only?
Yep.
How does a mosquito get it?
A mosquito has to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that way,
And then they transmit it. All right, it's circular. So the mosquito gets it from a person who then takes it, gives it to another.
So who's patient zero?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're that step. And the malaria vaccine, the reason it's not so available is because it is almost brand new. It's only a few years old and it only started getting out into like Uganda, I think 2 years ago. So we're in the infancy of the malaria vaccine world.
I think Brett makes a good point. If we can get a polio vaccine to a desert village in Afghanistan,
Yes.
why can't we?
So it's also interesting, right, just logistics, according to ChatGPT, and you guys probably know this, so the malaria is a 4-dose regime. Around 5 months of age at 0, 1, 2, and 20 months. Reduces clinical malaria by 30 to 40%. And it is being deployed primarily in Africa. So lots, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
People will,
The 1.6 million, sorry. So it's, the area is central to the Busoga subregion, which is enormous. But eventually we'd have to have ambulances and stuff like that. So that would be, phase 5, 6, down the road. And then we'd also probably try and deploy the medical staff out to these places where people can't get to us. But yeah, it's going to be an ongoing project for many years, I think.
I'm just curious, one place, you can't even get there except by cars. How are you gonna get that?
Yeah, we're not, but at the very least, we can say we can cut down. Again, in the farthest regions, it takes 3 hours to get to Jinja. So we can at least cut down that and have a central location for us to go out and reach them and get them to there. That might cut it down to an hour or an hour and a half for them. So we're just looking to do what we can, the best we can. And then as we expand from there, again, we're just looking at this one hospital to serve this whole region, but we'd love to have like that as the hub and maybe some spokes that reach out in the community as clinics or even temporary.
Is the government willing to help out?
Yes. This will be a private school, but we will hospital, but we will work with the government in every way we can. They do provide free healthcare to their people. I'm going to use that term loosely, healthcare. It's supposed to be free. The buildings exist for free. Sometimes a doctor shows up and that's for free. The medication's not free. The service isn't free. So
The doctors will get them and that's it. Because they're overworked and they work all the time and there's a limited amount of medication that each hospital or clinic gets and so it's very limited. They give a certain amount to these places and that's it. That's what you get.
And when we talk about Ethiopia also, we work with the government and the local, I'll call them government, sometimes it's village elders. We work hand in hand with these people. We can't do this without them. Yes, sir.
Did you come to this Go on a holiday one day.
Yeah, so, I'll let her talk because it's really on her.
Um, 2014, and I went to Cambodia with Hope for the Thousand Voices. They protect children as well, and mainly from like the sex trafficking. And so I went with them, and I went there 3 years in a row because I was interested in. I helped them open an orphanage, and so that got me. They gave me the bug, and then I've been volunteering with other nonprofits throughout the time, and I recently, well, in 23, I went to Ethiopia with another nonprofit that supports an orphanage there. And I met Ali, who was our director of operations, who sadly died in May. And that's why the shift in our programming. So, yeah, then we started our own because we wanted to not only like focus on one orphanage or, I mean, and nothing like that's amazing. One space or one program. So.
And we realized that, like, it's a friend of mine that I work with. He and his wife run this orphanage in the Sela, Ethiopia. And what we realized is that's fantastic. We love it. We would actually like to prevent people from ever having to go to the orphanage in the first place. And that happens because child abandonment is rampant there. They cannot afford their children, and they get sold, they get trafficked. But I'll let her. I'll stick to where I'm like, whoa, stay in my lane. No, that's a very good question. And that's the beauty about Yona being a lawyer. We are already established in Ethiopia, so we're an international nonprofit, and we will become an international nonprofit through Uganda also. And that will help out a lot when we have to cross that bridge. But Yona is our person. Again, he started with another nonprofit to build his school, and his school is a private school now that is run mostly off of nonprofit dollars, and he's gotten it to run, be self-sustaining already. But he knows how to navigate all of that, and he works very close with the government. So again, when Ali went to Ethiopia, she met Ali, and Ali was the subject matter expert in this field. And through another nonprofit, we met Yona, and Yona is the subject matter expert in all of this. We support them. I'm going to turn it over to my wife so I can stop talking.
All right. So this is our advocate in Ethiopia. So Ali Tessi was our director of operations in Ethiopia, and he passed suddenly. He was 43, so we lost a dear friend, but his beautiful wife took over for him, and she was actually his boss in the Children and Women's office. So she has been involved in child protection throughout her entire career as well. And so she's taken over, and she because she now has to work, well, she's worked all her life, but like she has to work more now that she's taking care of 2 kiddos on her own. So she wanted to move our program to Acela, where she lives, and she still has all of the relationship with RC Zone Women and Children's Office, which is our child protective services. So she was his boss. That's how they met, and she's works closely with the, I'll just say CPS, CPS there. So she's very familiar with the everything around child protection and education and everything that that CPS helps them with. She also has a degree in business administration. She works for the Water, Mines, and Energy office right now, as she got out of the Women and Children's Affairs. So here's the problem. In Acela and the surrounding communities, it's extreme poverty, lack of income opportunities. And so it forces single mothers to either abandon their children, marry them off early, or send them away for labor. They send them to the Middle East or other parts of Ethiopia to work. And so what we would like to do is create a microloan revolving fund. I think you were talking about that, Chris, with Honduras. So what we'd like to do is start doing that. And we're not quite sure if we'd like add just a tiny bit of interest just to like make sure that if somebody didn't pay back or something that we could still continue the fund. What would happen is the RC Zone Women and Children's Office would take control of that because they have more teeth behind it, I guess. But with women in that area, 99% of the loans are repaid because they're so like grateful just to have some help. And so it's very rare that somebody wouldn't pay back their loans. And so that's why we would be happy to help them with that. The reason we want to do that is because when you empower the mother, she feels like she can take care of her own family without a husband or whatnot. And so her children can go to school instead of staying home and taking care of the kids or cleaning the home or that sort of thing. So Camilla, I don't know if I said her name, Camilla. Camilla is our director over there now. She came up with these because they're the small businesses, because they're the most prevalent small business in that area. So chicken rearing and egg sales, goat husbandry, and spice production and sales. All right. So we want to start it with a $10,000 because this would afford many women to start their small businesses. So the goat husbandry business starts with 5 goats and vaccines, and that's $350 for 5 goats. And that helps them start their business. And then chicken rearing is 20 chickens and feed for 1 month, and vaccines, it's $200. And then the Ethiopian spice is a little bit more expensive at $1,800 per family. Can I move this? Oh, okay. Well, okay. And then we also want to provide small business financial literacy, mentorship, market linkage support, because you can't just give somebody money and expect them to just know what to do with it.
The beautiful thing is when we were working with Ali, we were still working on this program also on the backside, but Ali was also a college professor. And so we can work with that college to provide all this education. We still have those relationships. And that's what we want to do. We want to work with the governments. We want to work with the village, and we want to work with the town itself to be able to make this self-sustaining. We want our goal is to put ourselves out of a job. We get this rolling, we pass it on to the next and the next and the next, and we can step back.
Yeah. So these pictures are of in the village that we were working, and the first one on the left is of like all of the children at the school that. So we are finishing the school. We built another 3 classroom block for them because there are 700 students and 1 classroom block, and they were all sitting on the floor or gathering wherever they could. So we are finishing that. And we're moving our program to Acela. But one of the amazing things is we know that this program works, because here you'll see a grandmother who her daughter was a victim of sexual violence, and then her daughter that was born from that was abandoned to the grandmother, and she's also like plagued with a lot of physical disabilities. So we thought that was the most vulnerable family. And so we started with them. We had a donor donate enough to get 3 goats for them. In a very short amount of time, it became 7. And they are now, from them sleeping on the concrete, they are now like middle class in their area. So they traded the goats in for a cow. And so, because, as a grandmother and a physically disabled girl, they couldn't really, you know, follow the goats everywhere they go. So, so they traded it in for a cow. So now they're doing so good.
And
And
they sell the milk at the market every week.
yeah, they have like a little market area within their village. Yeah, it's amazing. So we know this works. We know that it can bring people out of poverty. The girl, she's 14. She wants to be a doctor. So she, with our program, she saw a doctor for the first time in her whole entire life. So.
And she's going to school now. When we first arrived, she was not even able to go to school. She can go to school now. She has all of her supplies. To go into what we are.
Yeah, go ahead.
What we have done. In this village, we've built the school. We've also donated a whole bunch of desks and chairs to the school. We're trying to make it a real school, and we would also like to eventually get a library. And on top of that, we started with this family to make sure that they got the so now her goal whereas before it was just a dream.
Yeah. And we also provided, so girls are the most vulnerable there. If there's only a primary school in that area, and so if they cannot like walk the 23 kilometers to like a high school, they're staying home. And if the family can afford to have them go to the high school, they'll send the boys first. And so the girls are it's a very traditional culture where men are the head of everything. All right. Well, maybe I need this guy. Oh. At a time. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. Okay, well, so how we support our programs is we have volunteer made goods. We also have goods from the program countries that we sell at vendor markets, which will be at the Cavallero Makers Fair this year. So come visit us. We have fundraisers. The fundraisers we did this year were, we always do an annual gala, and then we did the 40/30 annual Snohomish Car Show. And then we have some upcoming campaigns as well. All right, this is our board. We're always recruiting for more board members. So if you're interested, please come talk to us. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to end it off by just saying thank you very much. And of all the things, we would love your support. Of course, we're looking for donations. We're looking for everything. But more importantly, we would love to just get our name out there. I would love one day for the Gates Foundation to say, here's $1 million. More importantly, I would love that 1,000 people donated $1 a month. And so that happens by sharing our. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I love the local connection. You guys were engaged with the speaker more than I've seen in the past. So just know that I think you're getting the word out there, and I made my donation while you were talking. And so you can go to their website and do that. So really quickly, we have a presentation.
Diana's gonna present our Rotary Club flag. Oh, wow. Ready?
Yep.
This is from Italy, from my club. I'm from Rovigo, that is a small city near Venice, but also Verona. It's like an hour by car. It's really small, but they allow me to join to this program. That is very helpful for me because I'm studying at the university, communication and marketing. Actually, I finished my exam and I'm writing my thesis. So I'm supposed to discuss it in December. I'm writing my conclusion like in the spot of times that we have with the Randall. And I'm happy to be here. I already did an experience during COVID period. I went to another city in Italy. And now I wanted to do another like this program but abroad, so I can also improve the English. And yeah, And I'm happy to be here. It's really helpful. I stayed in Canada for 6 weeks, and I worked in a marketing office for an Academy of Music. And now I'm here with Randall, and we are organizing this conference, the Rotary International Conference that will be next week. So I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for hosting me.
Very nice, thank you.
All right, thank you for our speaker. Thank you for the gift to our club, and have a great day. Yes.
I'll take it.
I know. Easier.
Yeah, it was great. Presentation. You know, it's hard to believe things like that.
I know. You make me really feel. Yeah. Oh, yeah, how much we have here. Take that out, and what I really. I will back down. Yeah. Really is great.
Thanks for your help. So I'll get into it.
Well, I think we need to do worse. Subsidence. There's been a few. So. Oh, we used to. Yeah, this was so.
We must have been set as a priority. I'll take a look. It obviously came up.
Yes.
Well, it worked. Thank you very much.
You're getting that right.